Let's go to the championship playoffs. Now, this happened over the weekend, but a late Shea Charles goal gave Southampton a 2-1 win on aggregate over Middlesbrough, which should mean that they face Hull City in the playoff final for promotion to the Premier League at Wembley. I say should because it's all in doubt. Southampton have now been officially charged with spying on a Middlesbrough training session.
Yeah, well, we talked about it with Don on Monday. All we wait now is to see what the punishment is going to be, the sanction, what the EFL are going to do to Southampton, because it's clearly clear that they spied on their training. There's enough evidence now. The club Southampton are saying like we knew nothing about it. This assistant guy.
He's an intern performance analyst. His name is William Salt, according to the Daily Mail.
Well, yeah, but he's on photos a lot with the staff everywhere, on the club's website and everywhere. So he might be an intern, but he's still very close to the staff. But the staff and Tonda Eckert, the manager, saying like we knew nothing about this, which is obviously what they were going to say. So now, what are they going to get for spying and cheating? Is it?
That's the next question.
Yeah, that's the question. But some would think that a fine like Leeds and Bielsa had when they spied on Derby County, for example, a few years ago, is it be some point deduction? Is it be like full expelled? We will see. But for now, they are supposed to play at Wembley against Hull City in 10 days' time in the final. And Gab, if they are found guilty, Middlesbrough want them expelled from the playoffs, so take their place in the final, basically. That, by the way, Middlesbrough are still training. Instead of sending their players on holidays, they're going to train until the decision is made. Others, like I said, would say that point deduction for next season or heavy fine is more likely. Where do you stand and what do you think?
This is 100%. They should be thrown out.
Do you think?
But look,
it's not too severe.
William Salt, even if he's just an intern, he's not a Southampton fan, right? He is somebody.
I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry. You go to Southampton, you say, if this guy is identified as an intern, he must have a badge to access the facility, right? He's not some weirdo out there who operates on his own, right? Now, it may have been his own personal decision to go and do this. I might go and believe somebody named Tonda that this is what happened. But you're employing him. You're responsible for it. You are responsible for doing this. You would have gained the advantage. Would they have reported him? If he'd come back and said, hey, look, Tonda, look at all this information I have on Middlesbrough's set pieces. Oh, how did you get this, William Salt? Like, oh, well, better not. Come on. What are we talking about here?
And also there's clubs who think they've done it before to them earlier in the season.
100%, they should be thrown out. A points deduction next season. What about the parties that have been hurt? And said, there's other clubs before. Maybe don't have the evidence. Middlesbrough do have the evidence. Yeah. I think this is open and shut. And I'll tell you what.
There's not much time, though.
There's not much time, and in this country, they're always like, oh, no, we can't move the games. We can't the playoffs. Oh, Wembley's booked. I don't care. This is... Put sport first for once. If you can't come to a definitive decision by May 23rd, you say, hey, Hull City, you go train for another week, and we'll play this game again. And you know what? If Wembley's busy, we'll go play somewhere else. We'll play at the Emirates or at the Spurs Stadium or somewhere else. Yeah. Sport has to come first here. Not just the process. Let's wrap everything up by June 1st. This is just stupid.
I was more disappointed. I mean, this is poor, really, and disappointing. But there's a moment in the game in the second leg where I don't know if you know Luke Ayling.
I know
he's got a speech impediment.
Yeah, from former Leeds United, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and clearly during the game, Habu Bellis, the Southampton defender, mocked him for that speech impediment to the point that Ayling told the referee, who used the same protocol in a way as racist abuse, went to see the two managers to explain what just happened on the pitch. The player had been stopped for quite a while, actually, for this incident, and rightly so. And as the referee is telling the two managers, Hellberg and Eke, about it, Eke's reaction is, you could read on his lips, say, do me a favor, like if it was nothing. His own player, his own captain, I think his captain actually as well, mocking a player and clearly, abusing a player for the way he talks during the game, which is unacceptable. It's exactly like what we say about every other incident that we see on the pitch. And that's how, instead of saying like, I'm sorry, I'll have a word with my captain, this should not happen. He goes like, do me a favor, plus the F word, etc., etc. And I thought that was outrageous of a reaction from a manager like this.
I'm 100% with you. I was unaware of this fact. I don't follow the championship. You want to get an edge over someone, whatever. You run the risk. And Also, if you've been told this is treated as discriminatory abuse, if this is the same thing, if you'd been calling him a gypsy, or if you were Jewish and you were doing anti-Semitic stuff, or if you were black and it was racist stuff, or if it was homophobic abuse, all those things that fall in that bucket. And like you said, they have a thing.
Yeah.
Pre-season, the players are told.
Of course, there's a protocol.
Then, there's no question about it. Wild stuff in Scotland, Jules. Hearts thought they had won the title until a late Kelechi Iheanacho penalty via VAR in Celtic's game against Falkirk means it will all come down to the final day of the season when Celtic play who?
Yeah, Hearts. So they would not have won the title. They would be 3 points clear with the game to go and the +5 goal difference in their favour.
Okay, so they would have had to lose 6-0 against Celtic.
3. Well, no, 3, because they would
that's
swing,
right.
obviously, yeah.
Okay.
So a 3-0 defeat could have, I guess, happened and be possible. However, they would have made a massive step towards the title, and instead, I'm going to say it's a disgusting VAR call and referee call on that penalty for Celtic. I don't think it's ever a penalty. I think if you Motherwell, you feel really harshly done. If you're Hearts, you feel really, really harshly done. And Derek McInnes, their manager, was, as you would expect, outraged at the end when he was asked about that penalty. That for me, it's never in a million years a penalty. But we have the final of the league that everybody wanted and kind of was hoping for. Not if you're Hearts and Celtic, who they would have hoped to wrap up before that. But this is it. It's not the first time that Hearts, could have lost or lose a title in the last game of the season. I think 1965 and 1986, if I remember well. That's when they were in this position and lost it. I think both to Rangers, actually. It's been a long time since in the Scottish League we've had a game like this where the winner takes it all, basically. Celtic Park is going to be obviously buzzing and incredible. For such a big stadium, you know how much the away fans allocation is?
No.
600.
Wow.
For such a big stadium,
I think that's like 1% of the stadium.
Yeah, it's taking the mick. Really, it's bad. So those 600 Hearts fans who will travel to Glasgow to be there for that game, potentially watching history. They haven't won the title since 1960. Will be, really hopeful. And to be fair, let's be honest here. We like Martin O'Neill as what he's done. I know you don't like him as a person, but what he's done in this club, coming, leaving, coming back again. But Hearts have been the best team by far. And I think for what they are building there, with Tony Bloom and the investment that he had in the summer, the low budget that they have, the players that they find, the data that they use, I think they fully deserve to be champions.